Stop for a moment, my child, do not scroll away, do not rush past this moment, as if it were ordinary, because what is happening right now is not ordinary at all. Something in your spirit felt a quiet pull to pause here, and that pull was not random. Heaven has a way of interrupting the noise of the world when something important must be spoken, and right now you are standing in one of those moments. There are thousands of voices competing for attention every day, yet somehow your eyes stopped here, your heart slowed down, and something inside you whispered that this message might be meant for you. My beloved, I have been trying to reach you in ways you did not fully recognize, through small signs, quiet thoughts, unexpected delays, and doors that refused to open when you wanted them to. You wondered why certain things in your life unfolded the way they did, why some opportunities slipped away, why some people walked out, and why certain prayers seemed to echo in silence. But what you are about to understand will change the way you see those moments forever. Before this message continues, type Amen if you believe God brought you here. Listen closely now, because what I am about to reveal has been unfolding in your life longer than you realize. There were moments when you felt ignored, moments when you believed heaven had forgotten you, but the truth is something very different. Long before today, long before this very moment where you are listening, a warning was whispered into your spirit. A gentle nudge, a quiet knowing, a feeling that something was not right, that something needed to change. Yet the world around you kept moving, people kept talking, distractions kept pulling your attention away, and slowly that whisper became harder to hear. But I tell you now, my child, I told you. I tried to show you in ways that were subtle, yet clear to the soul that listens. And today you are beginning to see the truth that was hidden in plain sight. You may be wondering what this means for you right now, and that curiosity stirring inside your heart is not accidental. Because there are pieces of your life that are starting to come together like a puzzle that once looked confusing. Situations that seemed painful were not punishment but protection. Delays that felt frustrating were not rejection but redirection. There were paths you wanted to walk that would have led you into storms you were never meant to face, and so doors closed. There were people you trusted who were not meant to stay in your story, and so distance grew between you. And in those moments you questioned everything. You questioned your faith, your purpose, even your worth. But heaven saw the road ahead when you could only see the step in front of you. Now pause with me for a moment, my beloved. Let these words settle in your spirit, because something important is beginning to shift in the way you understand your past. The disappointments that once felt like endings were actually warnings. The uneasiness you felt in certain seasons was your spirit trying to alert you. And even though you may not have fully understood those signals at the time, they were never meaningless. If this truth resonates with your heart, comment YES below as a quiet agreement between your spirit and what you are hearing right now. There is another layer to this message that many people miss if they rush away too quickly. The truth is that heaven does not always shout. Sometimes the most powerful guidance comes as a whisper so gentle that only a quiet heart can recognize it. And you, my child, heard that whisper more times than you realized. When something told you to step back, when something urged you to wait, when something deep inside said that a certain decision might lead somewhere you were not meant to go. Those were not coincidences. Those were moments of divine protection unfolding quietly behind the scenes. Yet there is also a reason this message carries urgency today. Because many people reach a moment in their journey where they look back and finally understand what heaven was trying to say all along. They see the signs they overlooked. They remember the warnings they ignored. And suddenly the words become clear in their spirit, I told you. Not as condemnation, but as a revelation. A moment where the heart awakens and realizes that divine wisdom had been guiding them long before they recognized it. Before we continue deeper into this message, take a second to breathe and stay present. This moment is not meant to rush past you. It is meant to reach you. If you feel that something in your life is aligning right now, type 1111 in the comments as a quiet declaration that you trust God's timing. Dear family, before we continue, I want to share something important. Recently our channel was demonetized by YouTube, which means we no longer receive earnings from these videos. Yet every message here takes many hours of prayer, writing, recording, and editing. Our mission is to bring hope and encouragement to those who feel lost, lonely, or overwhelmed. Without support, it becomes very difficult for us to keep creating these messages and continue running this channel. If these messages have ever helped or inspired you, you can support this mission through the links in the description or the pinned comment. Buy me a coffee. Even a small contribution helps us continue creating these messages and reaching people who need them the most. Thank you for your love, support, and prayers. God bless you. Now return your attention to this moment, my child, because the message is not finished yet. In fact, what comes next may be the part your spirit has been waiting to hear. The phrase, I told you, is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of understanding. It is the moment where confusion turns into clarity. And sometimes when that clarity arrives, people realize that certain doors are now closed forever. Certain paths cannot be walked again. Not because you are being punished, but because your destiny has already moved forward. There are seasons in life when a choice must be made. And when that choice passes, time moves forward. The opportunity changes form. The lesson becomes permanent. And this is why the message carries a sense of urgency today. Because heaven is reminding you that awareness has finally arrived. You are seeing what you could not see before. You are understanding what once seemed mysterious. And with that understanding comes a new chapter that is opening right in front of you. Think back to the times when you felt something was being prepared in your life, even when nothing visible seemed to be happening. That quiet sense that something bigger was forming behind the scenes. That feeling was not imagination. There are moments when heaven aligns circumstances in ways that human eyes cannot immediately recognize. Conversations, delays, unexpected meetings, and sudden realizations all begin to weave together into a path that was being prepared long before you noticed it. My beloved, you may have thought certain blessings were delayed, but in truth they were being protected. You may have believed certain doors closed too soon, but they closed at the exact moment they needed to. And now the reason for those moments is becoming clearer. The path ahead is different from the one you once imagined, yet it carries something far greater than what you expected. Remain still for a moment and allow your spirit to absorb this truth, because clarity often arrives quietly, not with noise but with understanding. If your heart feels peace rising within you as you hear these words, type 777 in the comments as a sign that you believe something is shifting in your life. The story of your life is not defined by the moments you misunderstood. It is defined by the moment you awaken to the truth that you were guided all along. And now that awareness is opening your eyes to possibilities that were hidden before. What once looked like endings were actually transitions. What once felt like loss was often protection. And this is why the message says, I told you. And now it's too late. Too late to go back to the confusion that once held you. Too late to believe the lie that you were abandoned or forgotten. Too late to remain unaware of the ways heaven has been guiding you through every chapter of your story. Something new is beginning to unfold in your life right now. Even if you cannot see the full picture yet, the seeds planted through your patience, your endurance, and your faith are beginning to grow in ways that will soon become visible. Stay present. Stay aware. And most importantly, stay open to the path that is now revealing itself step by step. If you receive this message in your spirit, type Amen below and let that word be a quiet declaration of faith that the next chapter of your life is already beginning to unfold. And as you remain here in this quiet moment, my child, something deeper begins to unfold within the silence of your spirit. There are truths that only reveal themselves when the noise fades, when the rushing thoughts settle, and when the heart becomes still enough to hear what has always been present beneath the surface. For so long you carried questions that seemed to circle endlessly in your mind, wondering why certain paths closed, why certain answers never arrived when you expected them, and why the timing of your life seemed different from the timing of others around you. Yet what you are beginning to understand now is that your story has never been operating on the clocks of the world. It has always been moving according to a higher alignment, a timing that was designed not only to protect you, but to prepare you for something that required patience, growth, and spiritual clarity. There were seasons when you felt unseen, when your prayers felt like quiet whispers floating into an empty sky, but heaven heard every word that left your heart. Nothing you spoke in faith was ever wasted. Nothing you endured in silence was ever ignored. Even in moments when it seemed that nothing was moving forward, something was quietly shifting behind the scenes in ways your eyes could not yet recognize. Doors were being rearranged. Paths were being redirected. Certain people were being moved away from your journey, while others were slowly being positioned to cross your path at the exact moment they would matter most. This is why some chapters of your life seemed confusing while you were living them, because you were only seeing a small piece of a much larger design that was still unfolding. My beloved, there is a reason this understanding is arriving now and not earlier. There are revelations that can only be received once the heart has been shaped by experience. Once patience has softened the impatience that once rushed ahead of wisdom. The person you were years ago could not fully understand what you are capable of understanding today. The strength you carry now was formed through seasons you once thought were breaking you. But those seasons were not destroying you. They were refining you, preparing your spirit to recognize the difference between what merely looks appealing and what is truly aligned with your destiny. If your heart recognizes that truth, comment YES as a quiet agreement with what your spirit already knows. Now listen carefully, because there is something even more important being revealed in this moment. There were times when you believed that certain blessings had been taken from you, moments when it seemed that what you hoped for slipped through your hands just when it felt close enough to reach. But what you did not see then was the hidden protection that surrounded those situations. Some opportunities would have carried consequences that your heart was not meant to bear. Some connections would have drained the peace that heaven was guarding within you. And so what felt like loss was often a shield placed quietly between you and something that could have wounded your future in ways you never imagined. You see, my child, divine protection does not always look like a visible rescue. Sometimes it looks like a closed door. Sometimes it looks like a delay that tests your patience. Sometimes it looks like a path that becomes unexpectedly quiet when you thought it would become busy with opportunity. Yet behind those moments, there is a wisdom far greater than human understanding. Because heaven sees the full road while you see only the next step. And when you begin to look back on the road you have traveled, you will slowly recognize how many unseen dangers you were guided away from without even realizing at the time. Pause here with me for a moment. Let this truth settle into the deeper places of your heart. Because many people spend years believing they were forgotten, when in reality they were being protected. And protection often works silently, without explanation, until the moment clarity arrives and everything begins to make sense. If you feel that clarity beginning to awaken inside you right now, type Amen in the comments as a declaration that you receive this understanding with faith. My beloved, there is also something else unfolding within your life that you may only now be starting to notice. Certain patterns are changing. The way you see situations is becoming clearer. Your discernment is growing stronger. Things that once confused you now reveal themselves more quickly. This is not accidental. Your spirit has been maturing through every experience you have lived. The lessons you learned through past disappointments are now becoming a quiet wisdom that guides your future decisions. And this wisdom is one of the greatest gifts heaven can place within a person, because it allows you to walk forward with clarity instead of fear. There is a shift happening inside you that many people around you not even understand yet. Your priorities are changing. The things that once felt urgent no longer hold the same power over your mind. The approval you once searched for from others is slowly being replaced with a deeper sense of peace that comes from knowing who you are and why you are here. This transformation may feel subtle, but it is one of the clearest signs that your life is aligning with the purpose that has always been waiting for you to step into it. If you sense that shift within yourself, write 111 in the comments as a quiet sign that you trust the timing that has guided you here. And as this alignment continues to unfold, you will begin to notice something remarkable. Situations that once drained your energy will slowly lose their hold over you. Conversations that once stirred confusion will become easier to navigate because your spirit will recognize what belongs in your life and what does not. The clarity you are gaining is not just for your own peace, but for the direction of your path moving forward. Because there are opportunities ahead of you that require the wisdom you now carry. Without the lessons you have lived through, you might have stepped into those opportunities unprepared. But now you will recognize them when they arrive. My child, remain present in this moment as these words settle into your spirit. There is something sacred about allowing truth to unfold slowly rather than rushing past it. The world encourages constant movement, constant noise, constant distraction, but some of the most important revelations in life appear when you simply pause and listen. This moment right now is one of those pauses where heaven is gently reminding you that your journey has never been random. Every chapter has been part of a larger story that is still being written. And I want you to understand something clearly. The waiting season you once struggled through was not empty time. It was preparation. It was a time where unseen foundations were being placed beneath your future. Many people want the blessings of tomorrow without the growth required today. But heaven does not rush what must be built carefully. Your patience during those quiet seasons created space for wisdom to grow inside you. Your endurance through uncertainty strengthened the faith that now carries you forward with greater confidence. There will soon come moments where you recognize how everything you experienced was leading you toward something you could not yet see. Conversations will happen that feel strangely familiar, as if your spirit already knew they were coming. Opportunities will appear that align so perfectly with the person you have become that you will realize they could not have arrived earlier. They needed the version of you that exists now, the version shaped by experience, humility, and quiet strength. If you believe something is beginning to align in your life, type 7077 in the comments as a sign that you sense this movement already starting. My beloved, never underestimate how powerful it is when someone finally begins to see their life through the lens of purpose instead of disappointment. When that shift happens, the past stops feeling like a collection of failures and instead becomes a map of lessons that guided you to where you are now. The pain you endured becomes wisdom. The waiting you experienced becomes patience. The confusion you once carried becomes clarity that helps others who are walking through similar seasons. And this is part of the destiny that has quietly been forming within your life. You are not only being guided for your own sake. The understanding you are gaining will eventually become a light for others who feel lost in their own journeys. There will be moments when someone will hear your story and suddenly realize that their own struggles are not meaningless. Your perseverance will become evidence that faith can carry a person through even the most uncertain seasons. So remain steady, my child. Do not rush away from the quiet work that is still unfolding within your life. The alignment that is happening now is only the beginning of what will soon become visible in ways you never expected. And when those moments arrive, when the pieces finally connect in ways that once seemed impossible, you will look back and understand why certain doors had to close, why certain delays were necessary, and why heaven kept whispering gently through every chapter of your story. If your spirit receives this truth and feels peace settling into your heart, type Amen once more in the comments and let it stand as a declaration that you trust the path that has been unfolding beneath your steps all along.